Your metal mistress is back, and today she is breaking down music's most important top 5 list. Top 5 heavy metal guitarists. Let's get one thing straight, this isn't your dad's guitar list. No Clapton, no Page, no polite blues noodling. This is a blood-smeared, amp-blown tribute to the axe-wielding titans who turned distortion into doctrine and solos into sacred rites. These are the guitarists who didn't just play metal, they reshaped it, bent it to their will, and left a trail of scorched fretboards in their wake. From the icy precision of Scandinavian black metal to the molten chaos of thrash, this list slices through genre boundaries like a chainsaw through silk. It's not about technical perfection. It's about impact, innovation, and the kind of riffs that make your spine vibrate and your soul scream. So grab your studded gauntlets, crank the volume, and prepare to meet the 5 guitarists who define what it means to shred in the kingdom of metal. That's enough noodling from your mistress. Let's get right into it.
And here we go.
Born on September 29, 1968, in Berkeley, California, Skolnick first gained prominence as the lead guitarist for Testament, one of the pioneering bands of the Bay Area thrash metal scene. Joining the group at just 15, Skolnick quickly distinguished himself with a style that blended technical precision, melodic depth, and a flair for harmonic complexity. His solos on albums like The Legacy, Practice What You Preach, and Souls of Black elevated Testament sound beyond brute force, injecting it with a sense of musicality that was rare in the genre. In the mid-1990s, he left the metal world to pursue jazz full-time, enrolling at the New School in New York City and earning a BFA in jazz performance. Skolnick's dual mastery of metal and jazz makes him a rare figure in music, someone who can shred with the best of them and then turn around and improvise over complex chord changes with elegance and swing. His work with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Metal Allegiance, and various avant-garde projects further showcases his ability to adapt, innovate, and elevate any musical setting. Beyond performance, Skolnick is also a writer, podcaster, and public intellectual. His podcast, Moods T Modes, explores the intersections of music, culture, and creativity, while his essays and interviews reveal a thoughtful, articulate voice that's as comfortable discussing philosophy as he is guitar tone. In sum, Alex Skolnick is not just a great guitarist, he's a musical thinker, a boundary breaker, and a living testament to the power of artistic evolution. Whether he's melting faces in a thrash solo, or exploring modal jazz on a hollow body guitar, Skolnick proves that true musicianship isn't about genre. It's about curiosity, courage, and the relentless pursuit of expression. J.K. Lee's greatness lies not just in his blistering solos or iconic riffs, but in his ability to carve out a distinct identity in an era dominated by guitar virtuosos. Born J.K. Lou Williams in 1957, Lee rose to prominence as Aussie's lead guitarist from 1982 to 1987, stepping into the massive shoes left by Randy Rhoads. Rather than imitate, Lee innovated. His work on Bark at the Moon and The Ultimate Sin showcased a style that was fierce, melodic, and refreshingly unorthodox, often eschewing the whammy bar for raw finger strength and precision. What makes J.K. Lee truly great is his refusal to chase trends. After his tenure with Aussie, he formed Badlands, a blues-infused hard rock band that leaned into grit and soul rather than glam excess. With vocalist Ray Gillen, Badlands delivered albums that were emotionally rich, musically daring, and far ahead of their time. Lee's solo career further cemented his legacy. His instrumental album, A Fine Pink Mist 1996, and the covers project Retraced 2005, revealed a guitarist deeply committed to musical integrity over commercial appeal. He vanished from the spotlight for nearly 15 years, only to return with Red Dragon Cartel in 2013. a band that fused his classic sensibilities with contemporary edge. Technically, Lee is a marvel. His tone is unmistakable, warm, aggressive, and articulate. But it's his songwriting that elevates him. Riffs like Bark at the Moon and Shot in the Dark are not just memorable, they're foundational to 80 Seconds Metal's evolution. Beyond technique and tone, Jake E. Lee embodies the spirit of rock rebellion. In sum, Jake E. Lee is great not because he followed the rules, but because he rewrote them. He's a guitarist's guitarist, a songwriter's secret weapon, and a legend who deserves far more recognition than he's received. His legacy is one of boldness, brilliance, and enduring influence, a true master of the fretboard and the heart. When Randy Rhoads plugged in, the rules changed. In just a few short years, he transformed heavy metal guitar from a blunt force weapon into a precision-guided missile of melody, speed, and sophistication. His work with Ozzy, especially on Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman, didn't just elevate the music, it redefined what metal could be. Rhoads' genius lay in his ability to blend neoclassical flair with metal aggression. He wasn't just shredding for the sake of speed, he was composing. His solos were symphonic, structured like miniature concertos, full of tension, release, and haunting beauty. Tracks like Mr. Crowley and Revelation showcased his uncanny ability to weave scales and arpeggios into emotionally charged narratives. Rhoads played with a sense of drama and dynamics that few guitarists could match. His tone was razor-sharp yet warm, his phrasing deliberate yet explosive. He could make a single bend sound like a scream, then follow it with a flurry of harmonics that felt like sparks from a forge. His influence is seismic. He helped birth the neoclassical metal subgenre, inspiring legions of players to study scales, modes, and theory, not just riffs, and he did it all with style. The polka dot flying five, the spiked wristbands, the quiet intensity that made him seem more sorcerer than Shredder Wikipedia. Tragically, Rhoads' life was cut short at 25 in a plane crash, but his legacy is enduring. He was posthumously inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2021, a recognition that felt both overdue and symbolic, a nod to the fact that greatness isn't measured in years, but in impact. Randy Rhoads didn't just play guitar, he elevated it. He showed that metal could be art, that virtuosity could serve emotion, and that even in the darkest riffs there could be light. His solos still echo through the genre, a reminder that true greatness isn't just about skill, it's about soul. Eddie Van Halen didn't just play guitar, he redefined it. With a homemade guitar in hand and a grin that made shredding look effortless, he exploded onto the scene in the late 1970s and changed the sound of rock forever. His playing was a fusion of classical precision, bluesy soul, and sheer innovation, all delivered with a swagger that made even the most complex techniques feel like second nature. At the heart of Eddie's genius was his revolutionary use of tapping, a technique that allowed him to play rapid-fire arpeggios and cascading runs with both hands on the fretboard. While he didn't invent tapping, he weaponized it, turning it into a signature sound that launched 1,000 imitators. Songs like Eruption weren't just solos, they were statements, redefining what a guitar solo could be. But Eddie wasn't just a technician. He was a tone architect. His brown sound was warm, punchy, and unmistakably his. He built his own guitars, modified amps, and chased sonic perfection with the curiosity of a mad scientist. The result? A sound that was both raw and refined, capable of melting faces and breaking hearts in the same set. Beyond the gear and the solos, Eddie Van Halen was a songwriter. From the party-starting riff of Ain't Talkin' About Love to the synth-driven swagger of Jump, he proved that virtuosity and accessibility weren't mutually exclusive. He could dazzle with speed, but he always served the song. Eddie's influence is immeasurable. He inspired generations of guitarists to push boundaries, build their own gear, and find their own voice. He made the impossible seem possible. And fun. In a world of guitar gods, Eddie Van Halen was the lightning bolt that split the sky. To call Yngwie Malmsteen a virtuoso is almost an understatement. Born Lars Johan Yngwie Lanneback in Stockholm, Sweden in 1963, Malmsteen fused the ferocity of heavy metal with the elegance of classical music, creating a genre-defining style known as neoclassical metal. His early influences weren't just Hendrix or Blackmore. They were Niccolò Paganini, J.S. Bach, and Antonio Vivaldi, whose ornate compositions inspired Malmsteen to treat the guitar like a violin, fast, expressive, and unrelentingly precise. His debut album, Rising Force, didn't just announce his arrival, it detonated a new era, with lightning-speed arpeggios, harmonic minor scales, and Baroque phrasing. Malmsteen proved that metal could be intellectually complex and emotionally explosive. Tracks like Black Star and Far Beyond the Sun showcase a technique so blistering it borders on supernatural. But it wasn't just speed, it was structure. Malmsteen's compositions had the grandeur of symphonies, elevating guitar solos into full-blown concertos. What sets Malmsteen apart from other shredders is his uncompromising vision. While many guitarists adapted to trends, grunge, nu metal, djent, Malmsteen doubled down on his Baroque metal fusion. Across more than 20 studio albums, he's remained fiercely loyal to his sound, refusing to dilute it for mainstream appeal. That kind of artistic integrity is rare, and it's part of what makes him legendary. His influence is seismic. Guitarists like Marty Friedman, Michael Romeo, and even non-metal players cite Malmsteen as a foundational figure. He made guitarists want to be better, faster, more expressive. His role in bands like Alcatraz and Steeler, and later in solo projects like Marching Out and Trilogy, cemented his status as a genre architect. Critics sometimes accuse Malmsteen of excess, but that's precisely the point. Truth is, nothing is excess when you are the god of metal guitar. These five aren't just guitarists. They're forces of nature. They didn't ask permission. They didn't play safe. They rewired reality with every riff. Whether you're headbanging in a basement, sipping espresso in a jazz lounge, or lost in a harmonic haze, their fingerprints are on every note that matters. They are the architects of tone, the prophets of phrasing, and the high priests of shred. Each one represents a different elemental force. Malmsteen is fire, blazing, untamed, and impossible to ignore. Eddie is lightning, bright, joyful, and electrifying. Randy is air, elegant, haunting, and always just out of reach. Jake is earth, gritty, grounded, and full of soul. Alex is water, fluid, adaptive, and endlessly deep. Together, they form a sonic pentagram of power, a sacred geometry of guitar mastery. They didn't just influence genres, they bent them. They didn't just play solos, they told stories. And they didn't just inspire fans, they created disciples. Their riffs are tattoos on the soul of metal, jazz, rock, and everything in between. So light a candle, crank your amp, and play like the gods are watching. The metal mistress has spoken.